waiting for the freaks, the freaky people. Freaky. So if you catching this and you're on YouTube, do the right thing, like TV license, pay your bills, subscribe. If you finding this on TikTok, it means you and I are gonna have fun today. We're gonna take it away. Mantwiza, Agent 07, Skona, Stuart, Titi, Mel, Roy G, Dumisani, user 135, Wisdom, big name, Tutu, Cindy Swa Collins, just saying hi to the people. Before we can start, Jean Money, Becky. So without wasting any time, today I want us to speak about guilt again. I did a video on Monday about guilt. It was so much, I didn't know that it was talking to me. You know? So if you want to catch that video, please check it out on YouTube. I'll put it there. Just like any other videos that we've done. So this conversations, unfortunately, or should I say fortunately, they're not pretty much for everybody. When I say everybody, you'll realize that lately people are okay just speaking about uzalo, skim sam, speaking about money, houses. Not like there's anything bad with that. We're all for that. But now we've almost forgotten about fundamental issues. Like, I've never had a conversation where people are getting together and speaking about the issue of personality. What is the personality? By the way, a personality, it's one of the things that is affected by guilt, which is what we're talking about today. So if you've ever had an issue with guilt, you've had wine, all of a sudden you wake up guilty, you've had sex, you wake up guilty, you know, or whatever that you do, you know that you're not, maybe you're on dialysis, you're not supposed to eat this, you're not supposed to drink this, but you went on and did it. Today I want us to speak about these issues, but on a very psychological substrata. There's going to be a lot of English that's going to be thrown around here, coming from me, but please don't get distracted by that. The fundamental thing that we need to be looking at, particularly today, is how do we let the guilt go? Because the guilt has to go. For the people that are on a spiritual journey or forgiveness journey or self-forgiveness journey, whatever the journey that you're on, you cannot be able to progress any further before you deal with your guilt issues. Because guilt is one of those emotions that tend to hold you back. If you strip away the meaning of guilt, guilt means you're not good enough. So you feel guilty for charging people for your event. You feel guilty for charging people about your services. But if you don't charge them, you don't have money. Again, you feel guilty. You know? So that's what we're speaking on today. I just want to see who's here with us on this. It pretty much feels like Saturday morning, you know. I see that T-Boz is here, T is here, user 203 is here. Encourage your viewers to share your life and invite more friends. Yeah, there you go, guys. So if you hear, you love what we're talking about, please double tap the screen. Gives out likes, comments. This is basically just to keep it interactive. Remember, I'm hosting this thing on platforms which are very, very reliant on the algorithm. So you don't like it, you don't comment on it, you don't share it, meaning you and me are both fucked. you know, because it's just gonna be me and you in here, and my aspiration is, may a lot of our brothers and sisters start talking about these things. And when we speak about these things, it's not going to be about who's much more intellectually adept. We're talking about it from how does it affect us? How can we let it go? How can we forgive ourselves? How do we fully accept ourselves? How can we start tapping into the happiness without expecting it from the outside stimuli? How can we get to know how our emotions work? How do our emotions control our actions? Because pretty much what we call ourselves, it's nothing but a bundle of emotional triggers, emotional programs. You grew up knowing that men are trash, or you grew up being told that you're not enough. You grew up being told that you're not meant to be rich. You grew up being told that you are stupid. And now you are a 50-year-old, but still somehow you can't let go of that old self. You are in an executive meeting, sitting around the boardroom. You are a 55-year-old, but something in you still acts childish. These are what we call the traumatic events that we need to let go. So I speak about them because pretty much letting go of guilt, it's something that looks like that. If this is too much for the holiday morning, you know, don't worry about it. I'm just recording it here. I'm going to be sending it on YouTube. Probably you don't have a problem with guilt. Everything of yours is going proper. But for the people that have had a bit of a brush with guilt, you will know that guilt is very painful. Guilt can hold you back. Or let me put it this way, guilt holds you back. And I mean it physically and non-physically. Let's speak about it physically, just to show you. I spoke about this on my last video, but I think for me to be able to emphasize my point, I'm going to need to start here. There's a book by Dr. Richard Hawkins. The name of the book is Power versus Force. The name of the book is Power versus Force by Dr. Richard Hawkins. It's a bit of a big book, you know. Infused with some medical terms and, almost how these intellectual books normally go. But what I want you to check out in that book is what he calls scale of consciousness. It's something that looks like a cone, you know. He shows you that consciousness can be measured, but consciousness can be effectively measured by emotions. So if you're feeling low, there's an emotion that correlates with your low state. If you're feeling happy, there's an emotion that correlates to your happy state. Now, these emotions have names. Guilt, what we're talking about today, it's the lowest. You know, the lowest on the scale. So, if you vibing around with the emotions that are of a low vibration, your body picks it up and your body reflects it. Guilt, in as much as maybe perhaps biologically you guys might not be aware, too much guilt kills your liver. Now, this is now physically, you know. So if you have guilt over everything, you're guilty about wine, you're guilty about the cigarette, you're guilty about going out, you're guilty about this, you're guilty about that, you're guilty about this, you're always guilty on everything. You know. You're almost walking around like an unapologetic bastard. Sometimes we need to let the guilt go, because guilt does not only hold you back, but it makes you sick. I laugh about it, not necessarily because it's funny. I laugh about it because I realize that this is one of the things that has plagued a big number of us, and we're all quiet. Nobody wants to talk about it. Somehow the church told you that sex before marriage is bad, and you went and had sex, and they scared you, saying that if you were to make that, you're not going to go to heaven. You're walking around with this story thinking that because you did the transgressions, you violated the 10 commandments. You know, now you violated the 10 commandments, you think you're not going to go to heaven. Let that go, man. Anyone who carries the guilt subconsciously submits themselves to punishment. Voluntary victims, also known as. Hey, Polite, I see that you guys are here. So it's going to be a party today. What you guys having? It's a holiday. Apparently. So me, I'm here chilling with you guys. Talking about what really... Today it's all about emotions, you know. The people that have had issues with their emotions. But the biggest emotion that I want us to speak about is guilt. Guilt, when you define it, guilt means not worthy. So whatever that you do, you lack self-acceptance, because that's what guilt does. Because that's what guilt, remember, it's an emotion. An emotion is the way on how your true self speaks to you. Emotions shows themselves through your body. I did say when I started, there's going to be too much English thrown around. You know, if it's too much English, we'll try to tone it down. We'll laugh a little bit about it. But the long and short of what I'm saying, even if it's going to take me 2-3 hours, is we have to let the guilt go. The guilt that you got from church, you're walking around with this thing of thinking that you're going to hell. All of us do. You know, you get told that if you do that, brother, you're going to hell, man. If you do this, God is not going to be happy with you, man. If you do this, you're going to be inviting bad spirits. You know, there's a whole plethora of stories. Some of them are true, some of them are not. But who's to decide? You have to decide. A lot of us, we're going around here playing this thing that we call life, following somebody else's rules. A man is not supposed to get lesser salary than his wife. Who said that? Women are not good drivers. Who said that? For us, or for you to get happiness, somehow you were told that if you get an extra pair of shoes, you're going to be happy. That's what we grew up with. That's why you go and you get people flocking and going up and down in the mall or at the mall. Those people are really, really not looking for shoes. They're looking for happiness. They're looking for comfort. They're looking for peace. That's why the fast food restaurants, I don't know if you guys have realized. If you haven't, let's break it down. The fast food movement, these takeaways, I don't know when it changed, but all of a sudden, they were now called comfort food. When I heard that name, I was like, oh my word. So now you're trying to tell me that if I'm feeling bad, I can eat food for me to get well. But not only any other food. A lot of people will tell you this. Let me show you that there's a science behind this. There's this company that gave us Milk Lane. For you lovers, you probably know what Milk Lane is. For you 2000s, you probably don't know what Milk Lane is, you know. Because they started closing them up. For some reason, I don't know why. But for us, the 80s kids, Milk Lane used to be our go-to place, you know. Because we'll take our dates there. Milky Lane will have their sweet stuff. They'll give you the waffles. You know Milky Lane, man. So the whole story behind food comforting you is the following. Every time when you feel stressed, or whenever when you can get too scared, your body uses too much energy, or your body burns too much energy. That's why after every argument, you always feel tired. You feel tired because you overused the storage that your body houses. So once you get into an argument or anything that makes you feel a little bit bad, guilt, here's a correlation. Your body starts craving for energy. The bestest way on how your body can get energy is through sweet stuff. But not only natural sweet stuff, mostly artificially sweet stuff. Your ice creams, your chocolates. Haven't you realized that the more you are sad and stressed or going through a breakup, you always want sugar around you? Why? Your body is burning too much sugar. That's what guilt does. That's what a low emotional frequency thoughts does or do to you. Every time when I come here, I almost actually sound like a broken record, you know. I almost come here and say to people, forgive yourself. Forgive yourself. It almost sounds like a rustation. You know, I've said it for so much that it's almost pretty much sounded like a bore to people, but it never ceases to be a bore for people that are busy doing the work. What is doing the work? Doing the work is forgiving yourself so that you can give it to others, because that's how forgiveness works. Forgiveness works because there's a physical science. There's a science behind forgiveness. Forgiveness, when you're looking at it, it's two words in one. You got for and you got give. So when you forgive, it's like there's something that you're giving. So forgiveness is also a method of letting go. Letting go of your past. Letting go of your old beliefs. They probably told you that you're not going to make it. Somebody told you because you're not married, you're not the shit. Somebody said to you that if you black and you this, or somebody said to you if you white and you this, somebody said if you do this, you do that. What you're trying to do is, as you doing the work, you shedding those things, you letting that go. Now you're becoming your own, you're becoming to know yourself. Why do I feel so guilty? Why do I feel so angry? Why do I do this? Why do I do this? Why do I do this? It sounds like a laborious work. It has to be. That's why it goes by a very funny name. Some people call it shadow work. My well-learned friends here, you know, which is a term that you find for the people that read these books. As I share them, I know that half of you guys don't even like books. So I'm sharing out these books for people that want to take these further. Because like I usually say, if you're looking at me as if like I know what I'm talking about, me and you, we're going nowhere. Because because me as well, I'm still a student of this crap. So I come around as a brother, you know, with few minutes to spare. Share with my brothers and sisters, those who are into it. In as far as you Christians, Islams, and Judaisms, Hinduisms, Hebrews, you guys that are under a form of organization or association, these conversations might sound a little bit itchy for you. You know, because now you're gonna start bringing up your concepts of heaven and hell, and the only way is this, and you know, and those are well worn out conversations, because ultimately at the end of the day, even if you're going with Buddha, even if you're fucking around with Krishna, you're going around with Confucius, or you're going around with Plato, Pythagoras, Jesus, whoever that you're going around with, ultimately all of us are looking for the one thing and the same thing. But now we're using different forms. Somebody's this, somebody's that. Somebody believes in crystals. Somebody believes in candles. Somebody believes in books. Somebody believes in traditional way of doing things. But ultimately, all of us are looking for the same thing. But everywhere we go, we're hosting arguments of proving which God is stronger and which one is weaker. And probably God is standing there looking at like, don't they see that they're wasting time? You know? And everybody's arguing, no, Buddha is much stronger. No, bruh. You don't know about the cherry bombs. No, bruh. You don't know about Angel Michael. No, bruh. You don't know about this. All these systems are all one. Take it or leave it. So if you're going around, hey, how's it? I see that you dropped the name. You know? Keep it like that. Keep it like that. I like it like that. So today we're speaking about guilt. I'm treating this live as a Saturday morning live because it's a holiday today, right? And I'm supposing half of you guys are still in bed, you know. Some of you guys are about to have sex, or you're about to wake up and finish up your assignment, or you're about to wake up and do whatever that you do. What we're speaking about today is the issue of guilt. Try wherever where you go to take guilt out of it. You're having wine, have it without guilt. You're having sex, have it without guilt. But obviously this is not for it's not a ticket to go to kill. You know what is right and you know what is wrong. But not according to the society, according to your heart. Simple things. You know that you're not supposed to kill your mother. Nobody has to teach you that. You know exactly that you're not supposed to abuse your wife. Nobody's supposed to teach you that. These are messages that are coming from your heart, not from the society. Because messages that are being imposed by the society on our psyche sometimes is not beneficial. We're sitting where we're sitting right now with a shit ton amount of guilt because we've been told that if you do this, you're not going to go to heaven. If you do this, you're not going to get married. You have to get married when you're 30 years old. You're not supposed to have children out of the wedlock. As a man, a wife is not supposed to get more money than you. Like, some of the some of the ideas are so shocking that it only takes you to sit down and think about them and see that they're so stupid. You're not supposed to forgive other people because if you forgive too much, they will take you for granted. You are supposed to be right all the time. No wonder whenever when you guys are having an argument, you and your partner or anybody that's in your life, you always want to be the last one to say something. Because you grew up thinking that you being strong is powerful. It's not. You being the Superman and the Superwoman that you're playing. You know? Because a lot of people are playing different characters. Let me say that here you are. You playing the Superman that you're playing. You want to figure everything out. You have to be right all the time. You are the Superman, Superwoman. This is what you're doing. You're burning down your energy. And when you burn down your energy, you are stripping down your body. And when you strip down your body, you are inviting disease. All because you are a superwoman. You want to figure everything out. Nobody these days want to trust the process. Have you ever went through such a trauma in your life? You know? Has it ever been bad? Like eviction, repossession, doctor's appointment, they tell you that you got, let me say, whatever disease that they say you have. Your children are getting sick. Your family members are falling apart. You don't have the money. Nothing seems to make sense. Have you ever been there? If you are busy with it, I'm going to give you a very dangerous advice. You know, I don't like giving out advices, but I'm going to give you a very dangerous advice. So let's do this. Before I can go on, we're having fun today, I see. Make it fun for me as well. You know how the ego goes. I get angered when a person blames me for something. Yeah, I want you. I want you. I want you. Poly. Okay, cool. We're gonna talk about it. Let me say, make it worthwhile for the brother in a sense of, yeah, the comments. It's nice. And if you find it in your hearts, you know, I know some of you guys got paid. You know. And now, if you really fuck around with what we're talking about here, you can donate to the platform. And for the people that have been doing it unceasingly, you know, there's been people that have been surprising me from time to time, and you know yourself. Probably you're not even here on TikTok at the moment, but I see some of them are. If you find this on YouTube, this also goes out for you. For the people that these conversations have not yet touched, find a place where you can save them, because at some point, not necessarily these conversations coming from me. I'm just like a book, like any other book that you read. You're not supposed to believe me. You just take whatever that works for you. What doesn't work, you keep it at the shelf. That's what I'm saying. If what I'm talking about here has never resonated with you, but you kind of love the mood about it, there is something that is bigger than you that gets drawn to such conversations, but your body does not have an idea what's happening. We call these things coincidences. So if you're bumping on this platform and you're thinking that you fucking lost, you know, which is what I'm talking about. So yeah, I was saying, make it bright for the brother. Your giftings, your comments, your likes. I'm not quite sure how long am I going to be here. This week is a very personal week because I'm speaking about the emotion of guilt. This is so much of a pandemic that none of us want to talk about it. I decided to talk about it. I actually only did one video this week. This is how heavy this shit was, even for me. Because half of the stuff that I speak about here, you better believe it. I mean, it comes from myself. You know? Yeah, man. And I know that by the time when you guys get to tell your stories as well, if you're not already telling your stories, we will all be legit as far as possible. You don't come here and tell the people that you know English or show people that you know English, but nobody takes anything away from your shit. All that you're telling us about is chemtrails, conspiracy theories. You're scaring the shit out of us, but now nobody ever speaks about this is how we can get out of this. How do we get out of this? Letting go of the guilt. It's one of them. I stop it because I don't want to sound political. Oh, I have a book here. This is Clinical Psychology, Concepts, Methods, and Profession. Nice book. Very nice book. The concept of clinical psychology is in it you got like psychoanalysts, your Carl Gustav Jung, your Sigmund Freud, you got behavioral psychology, you like axiology. Axiology is what are your value systems? What do you value? Do you value money over respect? Do you value respect over money? That is a study. That's why I'm saying this book is beautiful. Do you think you're shy? What made you shy? They told you that you're an empath. Who told you that? They told you that you're a narcissist. Who told you that? Or was it more like a self-diagnosis? You know? I like those self-diagnoses, You go on Google, you type on Google, why do I always feel so low being in a company of other people? Then Google gives you results. Because you are an empath, you have a very deep and open heart. You can be able to see the energy and you can extrapolate it even before people speak. And now all of a sudden you get excited. Google has told you that you're an empath. But have you ever checked that you are a narcissist too? You think you are just an empath? You think that you are a twin flame? You know those conversations, I'm a light worker. Nah, man, I'm not supposed to be this naughty. So, you know those conversations, I'm a light worker, I'm a twin flame, I'm a guide. You get a lot of them on Facebook and on Twitter. Oh yeah, even here. What we don't understand by not researching is you are all personalities in one. You are an empath, but you can be a narcissist, especially if no one is watching. You know what you do when no one is watching. What you do to the fridge when everybody's asleep. What you do to your thoughts when no one is listening to you. What you're doing to yourself with that guilt that you're going around carrying. We don't see it. We don't see the guilt. Everybody's walking around with filters, I have a degree in this, you have a degree in that. You have a house in Sandton, somebody has a house in Cape Town. You have the house by the seaside. You are a pastor of this church. You are a manager of this. But everybody is walking around with guilt. Or even if it's not everybody, the greater part of us are walking around with guilt. And nobody wants to let it go. I speak about guilt as if it's this big monster that we have to kill. And probably you got no idea. But if you haven't had a brush with guilt, you won't understand what I'm talking about. Because guilt sounds like a very not important emotion, but it turns out that guilt that is not properly managed, it can hold you back. You are sitting now in a rotten relationship. Possibly not you, You just got married, you happy, you guys came from the honeymoon. But there's a shit ton amount of our sisters and brothers sitting around in a rotten relationship, dead. But you don't want to go because you can't carry the guilt of what people are going to say. So you're not doing you. You're worried about your children. You don't even want to leave that job, but you know exactly that job is killing you. Because now, once you leave the job, it's going to mean that you're going to have to move back home. And now when you move back home, you don't even have a bathroom anymore. Oh, bedroom. Because at times, you do. Karma obviously has a word to play in it. But what we've done with karma as well, I think it's unfair. But we'll get to the karma if I get the time. Actually, let me write it down. Because I know I'm going to forget about it. You better believe it. The 20th today. March. Kamikaze. Valencia. Thank you very much for the likes. So, what we do is, a lot of our emotions or a lot of our actions are not really inspired by us, but they are inspired by guilt. You don't want to go on TikTok because you don't have straight teeth. You are afraid, what are they going to say about your teeth? Best one. People are going to holidays now. Some of them are going out of the country. You can't wear a certain swimming costume because some people are going to tell you that your body looks a certain way. These things, they sound like so very not important issues, but I want to show you that a lot of our decisions are not only shaped by us, but they are shaped by guilt. Everybody's concerned about what the fuck everybody's gonna say, but nobody ever sits down and asks themselves, what do I say in the matter? They told you that you can't do that. You told yourself you can't do that. You don't deserve the love. At one stage, you agreed to that. No wonder you're walking around now, nobody loves your ass, because somehow at the back of your head, you have that program running. That's what guilt does. Guilt runs the show even if you're not thinking about it. That's how fucked up guilt is. If there's any subject that I've never been passionate about, is this one here. You know? And I'm passionate about it more so because that shit is a shit that I had to deal with and I'm still dealing with. And I hope it's something that you will consider dealing with. Because, hey man, if you don't deal with your guilt, you're going to rob yourself of beautiful memories, beautiful occasions, beautiful happenings. Today, it's Thursday, the 20th of March. It's 9:42. We are live on TikTok. But can you believe it? We have a lot of people that are here, but in their heads, they are tomorrow already. In their heads, they are 15 years ago already. In their heads, they are 2 weeks ahead already. Nobody is here. You're already feeling guilty about your assignment, your rent. You're feeling guilty about this, about that, about this, about that. You're not even aware that today we are here. Guilt. But I know a lot of people who will bring this argument. Yeah, but you got no idea, bro. You don't know the stuff that happened to me, man. If you were me, definitely you will feel guilty. If you went through what I went through, definitely you'll feel guilty. Let me say, God forbid, let me say you have a very colorful past where you've done some unnameable things. You know? Because there are some of the things that you've done that you know, that I know, that obviously at some point we're not going to disclose to one another on platforms like these. Unless you want to hear more about this, we have the retreat that is coming next month. I think the third month of April. If obviously you're catching this before the retreat, if you're on YouTube, but if you're catching it after the retreat, don't worry, there's more of the retreats that are going to be coming. But for the people that are here actively participating in these conversations, I think a retreat might tickle your fancy, which is arranged by me and my wife. So retreat means you're going to be there, you're going to be spending time together, face-to-face kind of type of shandies, you know. But don't come there with the huge expectations as if like something is going to happen to you. No, all the work is to be done by you. You know. That's a sad part about the retreat, because I've had a lot of people asking me, are you trying to tell me that with that price, there's nothing that's going to happen? No. You're going to be doing all the shit. This journey that we're going through, it's a journey of knowledge of self. It becomes very useless if you get told what to do. If you've been listening to me, let me say this quickly. If you've been listening to me for some time, you will know that I don't like giving steps. You will never find me saying meditation. You breathe like this. You put 1 and 2. The main reason, and I'm not pissing over people that do that. Everybody has the way on how they do their stuff. But the main thing is, my stuff is, what you need to do, it's already in your heart. What you need to do, it's already in your heart. What you need to become, you already have it in your body. You've probably ever heard of a saying that goes, there is nothing new under the face of the sun. So there's nothing that I'm going to be saying here that is new. Yeah, maybe you might be in love with the way I put all the concepts together, you know, this and that. But the truth of the matter, the gist or the main platform why we started up this thing is, I just came here just to say to people, may we remember who we are. For those who want to wake up, of course. Because some people are still okay. So, if you're going through a lot in your life, right? You're going through a lot in your life. You don't know what is right and what is wrong. You don't know the front, the back, the side. Everything is off. Everything is getting taken away. I'm going to give you a very dangerous advice. Trust the process. If you're going through the darkest period of your life, trust the process. I'm going to give you proof and evidence of what I'm saying. I'll give you the scientific proof and I'll give you the emotional proof. Because today we're speaking about emotions, particularly the emotion of guilt. For those who are interested in letting the guilt go. Surrender. Always trust the process. Yes. I think my TikTok is done. Yeah, no, just with that answer, I mean, what else can I say to that? So, Christians call it let go and let God. Let go and let God. Some people call it faith. Have you heard of the word faith? Or you've been through so much of a tough time, you don't even like that word. You know? Have you ever counseled somebody who's looking into committing of suicide? Oh shit, that's not fun. If there's anything that you can ever do, don't be in that position because it's not nice. Because you might make a mistake of trying to mention up the word faith. You have to understand, if somebody gets to a point of committing suicide, them and faith don't fuck around. This person must have lost so much faith to them to get to that point. But there are steps to get to that point. You don't just wake up and feel like you want to commit suicide. You build up to that. There's a build up. You better believe there is. On a deeper fundamental concept, suicide is nothing but the spirit. All spirits eat. So if people are not killing themselves, the spirit of suicide does not feed. Think about that. Let's make it fun. It's getting too dark. You know? So you need to trust the process, right? Let's start with a psychological or scientific way. There's a guy here. His name is Hashim Imoto. He's some Japanese chap. Oh, thank you very much for the donut. For you guys who feel like, matching the suit up, thank you very much in advance already. Sometimes when I don't say something in the midst of whatever that happens, I could be running with a certain thought and all of a sudden, the thank you sometimes they tend to hold me back. But I'm thanking you in advance. Thank you. Oh, by the way, what are you guys having? On this Thursday, they call it Donderdag. Yeah, man, Thursday. This chap's name is Hashim Imoto, if I'm getting the name right. He did an experiment. This experiment has something to do with water. This is what this guy says. Water stores energy or can store energy. Water can generate energy. Even though this is not something new, you probably know that half of our electricity, we get it from the friction that you get from the water. Water generates energy. When you look at the pyramids in Egypt, the pyramids, the way how they were built, somehow, particularly the pyramid of Khufu, they will tell you, or the king's chamber, they will tell you that underneath the pyramid, there's a steady flow of water. Now, that water generates what they call kinetic energy, energy at movement. So now water has a capacity of generating shit ton amount of energy. Water. Masaru Emoto, yes, that chap. He goes on to say, a droplet, not a spoon, a droplet of water, if properly activated, can blow down 6-story building. A drop. This guy now speaks about water, right? And he says water can be able to do this. So water as well generates energy that can be measurable. You can see it. You can, if you have those binocular scopes, you know, they will show you this is water when you are happy. This is water when you are horny. This is water when you are angry. This is water when you are hungry. That's what water does. But he goes on. He doesn't stop. I mean, like the facts from this research, it's so amazing. I want you guys to go check it out yourself. The research about that Emoto guy, it's mind-blowing. It's so mind-blowing. Then he goes on further to say, the composition of a human being is 95. Yeah, a lot. There's a book that I just finished now. I think you'd love it. I think I put it that side. You see, I told you comments, they tend to take me from here up there. Let's do this while I'm here. If you're listening through, shout out to the people that have been sending up the comments, your giftings, your likes as well. Just make it worth a while, man. For the people that feel, they want to flex up their muscles off the platform, my numbers are right here as well on this TikTok, yeah, my 083 number. Send some cash sends. And for you stingy, so-called woke and conscious people, pray for that spirit. Stinginess is also a spirit. According to the Gnostics, they call it the demiurge. It's feeding on you. Every time when you're stingy, it's eating. Just like anger. Every time when you're angry, there's a spirit that gets fed. You don't understand what I mean? Go get the movie Appendage. Appendage, that's the name of the movie. Appendage, I think it's a 2024 movie or late 2023 movie. Appendage. It shows you straight in that movie that every time when you think a thought, it becomes an entity. It eats from you. Your entity. So nobody is spiritually attacking you. No. It's you against you. You think you're being spiritually attacked? All of a sudden now everybody wants to take over your show. It's a psychosis. It's a neurosis. You get it a lot. Particularly, that's why Bagolo Barona or Africans say and used to say, man, know thyself. Because it's in you knowing yourself that you can get your shit together. I know there's smart people here, you know. You want to start asking. Hold on, I'm looking for a book here. Yeah, I'll get back to the water. Water. Now it was just some book on what's this? Criminology. I don't know where it is. Oh, hold on. This is a book. Criminal Behavior, a Psychosocial Approach by Kurt R. Bartol. The name of the movie is Appendage, Appendage, something that extends itself out of you. So you're looking for somebody who's been kicking your ass? Look no further, my love. Look no further. So he goes on to tell us that our body, the composition, but this is not his observation, he just postulated it. Egyptians knew this even before, the whole story about who started it first, Egypt, this and that. You can go read about that. I'm not really fascinated about that because the more and more we speak about it, it tends to become an argument. And for me, personally, I don't know for you guys, an argument is nothing but the fucking waste of time. An argument. Let's say now me and you here, we've been here now for an hour, and now we've been arguing about one thing. Is God black or is God white? And we've been going back and forth about it, back and forth. Probably God is sitting there and thinking, these dummies, don't they know that I'm both? Called an androgynous being. But you're going around with this God. I don't even know why I spoke about it. But since we're speaking about it, it was in my list. Let's go deeper at it. Somebody asked me if I read some fictions, or what did you ask? So let's see. Especially when we speak to the issue of God quickly. I want to show you guys this. And you're not going to believe who's the source of this. For those who've been reading a couple of literatures, they will know who's this. If you guys can see. Down there is a man laying on the back, and there are 4 elements there: earth, fire, water, air. Oh, fantasy. Yeah, fantasy. This comes from King Lear, William Shakespeare. He shows you in here this fundamental issue of God, particularly. Friedrich Nietzsche speaks about this a lot, There are videos that I also did, particularly when it comes to religion. One of the things about religion, it tends to get me so fascinated, and I tend to get lost, and I'll find myself speaking for 7 hours, Speaking about religion alone, because there are a lot of things that you need to realize. I speak about this issue of heaven and hell or God because it's one of the things that has caused a lot of us guilt. So you will see here, it's just that it's a bit blurry, but the people that have been joining my classes, they know we spoke about this at length. You got the 4 elements here, then you got the planets here, then you got the principalities here, then you got the God here. But Christians and some people that came from the Abrahamic religions, somehow this God concept, Mark Twain says, if you're looking for the real God, firstly destroy the God that man made. So we're walking around worshipping the man-made gods. Mine wears this uniform. Mine sings these songs. Mine has this aircon. Mine has this color. Mine has this English. Mine has this. We all taken from one piece. The more and more you deal with William James, the father, the so-called father of psychology, he calls it existentialism crisis. This is when you start asking yourself questions like, why am I here? What am I doing here? Like, I don't know if you guys have ever asked yourself that, or you think it was only for the white people, or you think it's only for the Indians. It's for you as well. Why are you here? Me, I came here to drink from the Pac-Man cup. You know, these are the questions that when you start asking yourself, you're not gonna get answers from your mom, your dad, your professor of sociology. These are the questions that are directed to your heart, your God. The kingdom of God, it's within. Don't be asking such questions. I choose not to participate in that question, but now I can just give you a bit of a prelude. It's a weekend or it's a holiday today. Schools are closed as well. So so you are allowed to have anything that you want to have. Or has your pastor told you that if you have it, you're not going to go to heaven? We're dealing with that now. This goes now for everybody else. So now, whatever that you want to have or whatever that you want to do, if it comes from your heart, it will never fail you.